Hey there, seekers and shapeshifters, healers and expanders. Welcome to the Embodied Spirit Uncensored. I'm Nicole D'Alessandro, and I am here to guide you through an in-depth experience like no other, channeled from higher wisdom through me directly to you. This is a place for those who dare to delve deeper, who crave transformation beyond the conventional, and who are ready to embrace the mystical union of science and spirit. Here at the Embodied Spirit, we don't just scratch the surface, we dive into the very depths of existence. Prepare to be challenged, to change, and to elevate into a new version of yourself. We're inviting you into an entirely new world, a realm that extends far beyond your physical being. So if you're ready to transform your understanding and awaken to your true spirit, you're in the right place. Let's embark on this profound journey together. Hello and welcome to Embodied Spirit Uncensored. I'm Nicole D'Alessandro, your host, and today's episode is going to be rather short and sweet and going out with a bang. And why I have called it that topic is because this is the final episode of this season, this series. And like I promised at the start when I introduced this podcast, is that I want to bring a really rich, diverse expression of the conversation around embodied spirit, around bridging the gap between science and spirit. And I had planned to interview and share this space with other interesting people. And time has sort of caught up on me. We're 17 episodes in. I've only interviewed one person, and I think you'll get quite sick of me. Hence the reason why I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to go and just recalibrate. And some very big things have been going on in the background of my life that are very sensitive topics that I am not able to hold neutrality in this moment about, that contain a lot of charge and emotion. And the going out with a bang is that I'm going to leave you with this, is that after 34 years of loving Jagman, and I will to the end of my life love this man, I asked Jagman to move out of the family home, and it had been coming for a while. There were a lot of expressions and lacks of integrity, and we started to bring out the worst in each other. There is no blame, but in this moment, I will not be having the conversation. But what I really want to leave you with is that, well, one of the main reasons that I asked Jagman, and this is the first time in 34 years I've ever asked him to leave. I take it very seriously, this request. And I always said, if there were ever a time that I was out of integrity, I was unable to hold my values without abandoning them, which I had been doing, that I would only do this once. I'm a woman of my word, and I was betraying the woman I was becoming and everything I stand for to stay in that marriage. And I couldn't do it any longer. I couldn't do it to you. I couldn't do it to community. I couldn't do it leaning into the parts of me that wanted to expand. And instead I kept contracting, and it was leaving me feeling so dishonest, so disloyal, not only to my community, to you, but to Jagman himself and my children and my family. So I wanted to leave you with a blog that I wrote, and it came from a journal entry that was very sensitive and tender. And rather than read the journal entry, because there's a lot of rawness in it, I've created a blog called The Art of Embodiment in Action, and it will give you a little bit more insight into why I love this work and what it can look like when we lean all into the discomfort, when we make those decisions, big, bold moves. I was 15 when I met that man. And at 50, asking him to move out of the family home took so much courage. There was a lot of pain, a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, a lot of anxiety in that, and so much going on with family networks, because I have changed the entire dynamic of our system. And systems within systems don't really adapt well to change, particularly because I'd protected him and our relationship. So a lot of the people, when they found out, have been grieving too. and they haven't taken to this very well. So I'm going to read to you what this looks like from a very personal expression through a blog I've written. And I'm going to leave you with this. And when I come back for the new season, the new series, I'll have more leverage on my expansion. I'll have a beautiful neutrality, and I will be bringing to you some really rich conversations with other people. You are going to get sick of just hearing about me. Before I read this, let's just recap on what this series and season was about. It was really about introducing you to the art of embodiment, transformation through science and spirit, through universal laws, through my own very rich personal, but also professional experience, and why I believe transformation, embodiment, and leaning into loving all parts of self and expanding consciousness is so important. So that is what we've really discussed over these 17 episodes. We will be having deeper conversations through the lens of others, through having conversations with my clients, with some great practitioners I've worked with, some people who I am in awe of, and not in awe of like a pedestal, but very intrigued and interested and curious about their work in this space of human development. So the next series will be very much about having richer conversations with other people in this field, other people who are doing this work, who are transforming. And I really want to thank you. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I really want to thank you for listening in, for hopefully taking some of the bits of information and translating it into your world. I would love to hear how you are going and what questions you have, if you have any, about the conversations we've had. If it's left you feeling confused, everyone is on their own developmental path. We all take bits that we understand. It's very layered and nuanced. So as you unravel, you will hear different things in these conversations. Please stay on your journey. But what I want to leave you with is this beautiful blog, and it will just give you a really big understanding of how it actually looks in the flesh. Here we go. Some lessons punch you in the gut before they hand to you a lifeline. Others creep in quietly with whispers you only hear when you're too broken to resist. On November 24th, one of those life-altering whispers caught me mid-drive. It reminded me of a journal entry I'd scribbled weeks earlier. And though I couldn't stop to write it down, it demanded to be shared. That day began with the news no one is ready for. After nearly a year of silence, I heard Jagman's voice. He was sobbing as he delivered the devastating news that my father-in-law had passed away. And just like that, everything dissolved. The anger, the resentment, the years of pain, my love and compassion stepped in before I could think twice. I took the phone from our daughter. I asked what had happened and whether he was okay. My act of care and love for Jagman was met with the final blow. You are no longer in my life, Nicole. I'm not going to talk to you. Those words hit me like a train. 34 years of this cycle flashed before my eyes in an instant. It wasn't just about his disregard. It was a reckoning. It became clear that this was it, the moment I'd unknowingly been waiting for. The game was over, and so was my tolerance for it. And yet, even knowing I was free didn't make the next 5 days any less excruciating. I unravelled. Pain, sobbing, emptiness, anger, it all came flooding through me. I curled up in a fetal position, swinging from numbness to outright screaming at God to make it stop. I begged for comfort, for reassurance, for validation, from anywhere but myself. But deep down I knew no one was coming to save me. And here's the kicker. I didn't need saving. Instead, I needed to sit in the fiery flames. I needed to feel everything, to lean into my emotions without assigning blame or weaving dramatic stories around them. 5 days of hell later, I began to crawl out of the abyss. I cancelled work. I slept. I sought solace in my sacred spaces, the bush and the sea. I ate nourishing food, moved my body, and let myself be held by the quiet presence of nature. The songs of birds, the crashing waves, the rustling trees became my companions. Slowly but surely I returned to myself. In that time, I reflected on my father-in-law, laughing and reminiscing about our uniquely complicated relationship. I felt his love and honoured his memory. I realised too that no one from my old life had checked in, not to ask if I was okay, not to acknowledge my grief. And still there was no hate. Here's a truth many people understand about leaving a family, a partner, a life that no longer serves you. It's not because you stop loving them. I sincerely love all of them so deeply. I didn't leave because I gave up on them. I left because I chose myself. I left because staying meant betraying the woman I was becoming. I won't lie. These choices gutted me. My body felt beaten up from the inside and it showed on the outside. But through the grief, I held on to my integrity, my values and my worth. Then came my daughter's graduation. It was a day I'd been dreading, knowing it would mean standing side by side with my soon-to-be ex-husband for the first time in over a year. My daughter and I talked about the grief, the anxiety and the weight of what the day would hold on the long drive to the venue. It fucking felt like forever, I can tell you that. I reminded her over and over again that this day was about her. To my surprise, when the moment came, I was grounded, soft and steady. He refused to look at me or speak, yet I felt no anger or animosity. I saw the hollow shell of a man who had spent this year in grief, confusion. I understood his pain, without carrying it for the first time in my life. I didn't need him to acknowledge me or validate my existence. I stood there as the loving, graceful, compassionate version of myself that I'd spent years fighting to become. That day wasn't just my daughter's graduation. It was mine too. I'd graduated from Earth School, from the insecure, frightened girl who clung to the hope of being enough for someone else. Through this darkness, through his darkness, I found my light. In all the years of searching for love in him, I'd finally discovered the love of my life. It was me. So here's the lesson. No matter how deep into the abyss you fall, there's always light. But the light doesn't come from someone else saving you or fixing it for you. It comes from leaning into the pain, letting it burn through you, and refusing to turn away from your truth. Embodiment isn't about perfection or even happiness. It's about being present with all of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's about holding space for your grief without turning it into a victim story. It's about letting your emotions pass through you so they don't get stuck inside of you. Most importantly, it's about realizing that you don't need anyone to give you the love you've been craving. You've had it in you all along. In fact, you are it all along. You just need to come home to yourself. I'm going to leave you with that, and I cannot wait to bring to you more conversations on this. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to go and be more crazier than ever. I'm going to embrace the fullness of whatever is coming next for me. And I would encourage you to do the same. So let's together go all in, stay batshit crazy in your fullest expression. And I hope you take something from this blog, from this conversation. And I don't wish this experience or this pain on anyone. However, I also do find that it has been, although the hardest fucking, words can't even describe the experience of this process, leaning into this mammoth change, letting go, surrendering, walking away. And it has also been the most beautiful, gracious love I've experienced. And the people that have come forth and revealed to me their integrity, the people that have stood beside me, they haven't joined in the pity party. They haven't joined in the slander. They haven't taken sides. They have just honoured and listened and called my bullshit every step of the way when I've lost my shit, when I've reacted, when I've made probably decisions or said things that were out of character, but also very much part of my character. They have stood beside me. And it has shown me that there really are beautiful people out there for you to walk beside you if you just lean into being more vulnerable, if you just show all parts of you and don't hide. And to those of you that couldn't hold, that's okay too. You are on your own journey, experiencing and discovering yourself through this. So until next time, stay crazy, stay batshit crazy, and I will see you in the next series. Thank you for joining us on the Embodied Spirit Uncensored. Today's journey may have ended, but your personal transformation has only just begun. So keep channeling the insights and energies from our episode. And as you move forward, remember, this podcast is for those who are not just living, but are seeking to live profoundly. Continue to explore, expand and evolve with us. Make sure to follow this series, connect with us on Instagram at Nicole D'Alessandro Perth, or visit www.nicoledalessandro.com.au for more transformative content. You can also find me on Facebook at Nicole D'Alessandro. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and more importantly, stay batshit crazy as you embody and explore beyond your current realm of existence. I'll see you later for now, and remember, this journey to embodying your spirit is the most significant journey you'll ever undertake.